Well, good morning. Good morning. I know you're not accustomed to seeing me this early in the morning, but before I went out to do my little walking today, I wanted to just share something with you. And it's encouraging, it's prophetic, it's actually a reality of life. It's working out. That's the thing I want to say to you. It's all working out. The Bible says that we know that all things work together for good to them that love God and to those who are the called according to his purpose. So there's a strange dynamic in life that takes the most horrific, the most trying, challenging times of our lives and puts it together in a way that when it's all said and done, the thing we thought would end us many times actually promotes us, especially when you are doing your best to do your best in the sight of God. When you're doing your best to do your best as it relates to people, when you're doing your best to do your best as it relates to improving yourself, things just seemingly out of nowhere go awry. And it leaves us many times in a mental place where we just absolutely feel like this is unfair, this is the end of the world. But this is one of the deepest questions in theology, even philosophy, and just overall human experience. Why do terrible things quite often work out for good? I know we ask the question all the time, why do bad things happen to good people? But if we really paused and if we really thought about it, more times than not, great stuff comes out of bad times. How many of you that are sitting there watching me right now can testify that your most, challenging, just life-altering seemingly moments that you thought would end in your demise, that is the very pivotal point that changed your life for the better. It's almost like these points in our lives where it seems like it's just more than we can tolerate. It seems like God uses those times as destiny moments. Those seem to be the moments that really thrust us forward into the thing that God has ultimately planned for us. Now, there are a few things that I jotted here. Number one, why is it that horrific things often work out for our good in the long run when we look at the whole story? Number one, the crisis revealed the truth. Whatever the crisis was, crisis reveals truth. Crisis as a way of destroying illusions. It exposes what is weak, what is unhealthy, unstable, or no longer working in our lives. And many people do not change, listen to this, while something is merely uncomfortable. They change when the old way of living becomes impossible to maintain. So really the wisdom here is that the crisis or the circumstance that we pay attention to, oh, it's so horrible right now. The reality is that it's not so much about the change in circumstance as much as it is about God allowing the circumstances to become difficult to change the way we view life, ourselves, and the opportunity in front of us. Because crisis reveals the truth. Crisis destroys illusion. Sometimes we needed that crisis to get off of the couch. You didn't start praying until this happened. So the crisis does not always create the problem. Sometimes it simply reveals what was already present beneath the surface. And what was present beneath the surface is that you and I were sitting on the couch far too long. And if God did not allow the crisis to overwhelm us, we would have never gotten up, never actualized our strength, and would have never stepped into destiny. So while you thought it was horrific, it was purposeful. Number two, hardship builds strength. You can't really build strength with easy times or in easy times. And I don't know where we ever got this idea that somehow we're going to live for God and that God is going to just allow us to have easy times. That would be like pitiful parenting that tries to make life just a flowery bed of ease for his or her children. You're not going to build strong, self-sustaining adults with just easy. Hardship builds strength. Adversity develops qualities that comfort cannot produce. And so when we get on the other side of it, we say, oh man, I wouldn't change a thing. It's because the thing that you went through built the character and the strength you needed to sustain who you are today. So the challenges of yesterday were the foundational stones of the amazing person you've become and are yet becoming today. All of the darkest seasons of my life, I say I would not change a thing because I can see how it was during those times that God was building within me strength and character that, I otherwise would not possess. Now, number three, I'm not going to be long today. I just wanted to give you this, just this thought that I kind of woke up with. Now, number three, my phone is recording me for some reason. I don't need you to record me. Well, before I leave number two, listen to what James chapter 1, verses 2-4 says, "My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into divers temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that she may be perfect and entire, lacking nothing." So the scripture does not suggest that trial itself is joyful, but the joy comes from understanding what the trial can produce. All the stuff we go through, there's nothing joyful about it, right? There was nothing joyful about being a teenage father, even though I brought that on myself, and having to kind of relinquish my childhood and my youth to become a dad. Nothing joyful about that. Nothing joyful about having to start my life over again at 40 years old after Hurricane Katrina. Nothing joyful about having to bury just scores of members of our church during the pandemic, because sometimes I buried husband and wife, and these were people that I grew up under like parents, and just tens of them, scores of them. Nothing joyful about that. But when I look back on it, those were the times that forged the character that is in me today, that serves people around the country and around the world. It's the character that serves my church family. Now, number 3, time changes the meaning. As you know, when you're in something and it seems like it's the end of the world, and then you get out of it and you grow a little bit, time changes the meaning of that thing. Because we usually judge an event according to how it feels in the moment, but God sees the event in relation to the entire story. And what feels like rejection today may later be understood as protection. What appears to be a deal, breaking trauma today, or what may appear to be a delay today, may actually be preparation. What is misery today becomes ministry tomorrow. What is pain today becomes power tomorrow. What feels like an ending may become the beginning of a completely different future. Look what Joseph said. Remember Joseph in the Bible? His brother sold him into slavery. He really wanted to kill him. And then he's in power now. Many years have passed and his brothers are standing before him. They don't even recognize him. And he has the power to have them killed. And here's what Joseph said to his brothers in Genesis 50:20. But as for you, now they realize who he is. They know he has the power to kill them. He says, but as for you, you thought evil against me, but God meant it unto good to bring to pass as it is this day, to save many people. Number four. People can grow through pain. Human beings possess a remarkable ability to adapt, recover, and rebuild. And people who have endured pain or painful experiences sometimes emerge with stronger relationships, clearer values, deeper faith, greater emotional maturity, and a renewed appreciation for life. And these very people become more intentional because suffering has taught them that time, peace, health, and relationships should not be taken for granted. This does not mean trauma is necessary or that people should be thankful for mistreatment. It means that suffering does not have to possess the final word over a person's life. Sometimes that catastrophic event is exactly what that person needed to jumpstart their growth. Wow. How many times in your life have you come to a place where you were dealing with something that seemed impossible, intolerable, unbearable, and it was that thing that got you all the way together, as some folk might say. And it was from that point that you started growing into the person internally, into the person you've become today. And then number 5, and I'm done. Number 5, God can redeem. Here's the big one right here. No matter how horrific, no matter how catastrophic, no matter how difficult, no matter how challenging a time, a period in your life, or a thing in your life is, God can redeem what was meant for harm. God will take the very thing that the enemy thought he would use to kill you, and God will redeem that thing for his own divine purpose to catapult you into the amazing life he always designed. The Christian message is not that evil is secretly good. The message is that God is so sovereign that evil cannot prevent him from accomplishing his ultimate purpose. God will take the bad and make it good for his purposes. God may not have caused the betrayal, the abandonment, the injustice, or, the loss in your life. But he can enter the situation and redeem what happened. He can take what was intended to destroy a person, his child, and use it to develop, to reposition, to awaken or strengthen you. And here it is, Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. So things that seem catastrophic sometimes work out for good because crisis reveals truth. Hardship builds strength. Isn't that the truth? Time changes our understanding of situations. People often grow, and God redeems what was meant for harm. So whatever you're dealing with today, whatever you're in this morning, I just stopped by to say to you, it's working out. You may not feel it, but we don't walk by feelings. We walk by faith. You may not see it right now, but just hang on a little while longer. It's going to be clearer in a minute. There's nothing that has come against you that can overcome you if you keep your hand in the hands of God. And so my prayer for you today is that you will be thoroughly and completely encouraged as you go about your day today, no matter what the situation is. The deliverance first happens not in the circumstance, but in the consciousness. When you understand the things we've discussed and you shift your consciousness to another level, the deliverance first happens in your mind. I love you all. Listen, getting ready to bring Mordecai Mission back, and very soon we're going to launch the link for you to register. Mordecai Mission is a 12-week in-person mentoring program conducted by Lisa and I. We deal with three things. We deal with inner healing, self-discovery, self-development. Now we call it Heal, Discover, Become. It's a framework for emotional freedom, spiritual breakthrough. It's just, I'm trying to gather some of the testimonials, ladies that have gone through. I think we've done like 4 or 5 cohorts of Mordecai Mission. Ladies that have gone through it. I'm trying to gather the spots where they testify. In fact, ladies who've gone through Mordecai Mission, I would love it if you would it doesn't have to be fancy, just take your phone and 60-second or less spot where you talk about what Mordecai Mission did for you. I need to share this with a new generation. God told me to do this. We're setting up for next year. Next year, we're going to launch the Transformation Institute, where we're going to spend just time with women and people in general that want to go to the next level. This is the season for me to do this. But right now, before this year ends, I want to do another Mordecai Mission cohort. So when you see the link up here to register, do it quickly, because Mordecai Mission is usually limited to a smaller number because of the intense work that has to be done inside of it. Now listen, I completely love you. I completely thank God for you. I totally appreciate you. And I want you to go forth today knowing that you are on top. You are going higher. God has more in store for you. God bless you. I love you.